Hello, everyone. So nice to have you, Fery. How are you doing? And welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Alan. I'm doing great, thank you. I've just had my second coffee down in the bloodstream, so I'm quite pumped up, and I'm ready to take over the world today and hopefully share lots of interesting insights.
Cool. All right, so let's jump in. Right. So the first question, as you know, the podcast is all about content promotion, basically as a whole, right? So you do more of kind of like a digital PR thing in your agency. But
Yep,
what does content promotion mean to you, and how do you see digital PR fit in there?
great question. So content promotion as a whole is. I think we have to begin with promote like how do we promote? How do we promote the great content that we produce, right? Because if you produce the best content in the world, nobody will care, right? As you said, I think previously, like just create a content and pray, that's not going to work. So we have to find some means to promote them. And but the keyword here is great content. So content promotion only works if your content is great. Otherwise, all the efforts are going to be wasted resources, right? So if and with digital PR as well, it's not enough to just have content. You must have great content so that you can have any outcome after you promote it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
content promotion is beginning with creating great content first, and then we know that the companies that promote the most are the ones that are winning. It's not the ones that are producing the best content, but rather the ones that are producing the best content and promoting it the most.
Cool.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of content promotion for me. I think it all begins with creating a great content, and then digital PR also falls into one of the activities where you actually promote the great content.
Yeah.
I'm not
Cool.
sure whether I hope that kind of opens up the discussion
Yeah,
on
yeah, that's awesome. Like
this.
the something that I always kind of point out is a research study that Ahrefs did, where essentially they noticed how 91% or something like that of the content that was published on the web is essentially not getting any traffic, right? And the main reason that they found for that is that the content didn't have backlinks. Second thing is the content didn't match keyword that like basically have search intent, and the other thing is the content didn't match the search intent and the content type that's behind the keyword. So yeah, the main reason is backlinks. So that led me to think that most people are just publishing and praying, right? And as we
And
know, that
wasting
doesn't work.
wasting a lot of money, right? Because that's
Definitely.
all wasted money. Like, you can create the best content in the world. If you're not going to promote it, it's just you'd rather throw away that money or give it to charity because it will have a better use.
Yeah. So the podcast is called Promote or Die, and we also have a funny definition that we use at Growth Gorilla, which is the content graveyard. So basically, I tell
Mm,
people that all the content they publish just sits in the content graveyard, where it's basically just dying and doing nothing for their business.
exactly, exactly.
Cool. And so, yeah, what would you say is the right balance, in your opinion, between content promotion and content creation? Because a lot of might focus too much on creating content and then not promoting it, but then other people might just do two articles and then like do their best to spread out like those articles, try to promote them, but the content might not be great. So, yeah, that doesn't really work kind of either, right? So, what's your kind of perfect balance for this?
The perfect balance would be, instead of creating 20 average articles, let's say per month, and that's just an example, you'd rather create five extremely great articles that are not average but they are above average, and then invest into promoting them. So cut the budget, let's say, instead of allocating I know how what budget to 20 articles, just cut the budget to five articles and then use up the rest of the budget to promote those five articles. That's how I would go for it. Instead of creating average content and not promoting it and just praying that Google will pick it up and you will be lucky to rank it, and hopefully the CTRs, like, people will click on them and it will go up in ranking. So that's what usually happens in like the deep brains of some. I mean, even my brain, like, we publish something and then we check Google all the time, like, where is it? Oh, is it like bottom of page one? Or hopefully people will click on it for some reason, and then the CTR is going to pull the rankings up without backlinks. That's kind of a very hit and miss approach, and it doesn't really work most of the time. So instead of doing that, just create less articles that are really good, and then promote them, and then that's where the budget should be spent.
Mhm. So yeah, follow up question on this: the articles that you're talking about, should these all be keyword targeted articles, or does it like make sense also for like thought leadership kind of content?
It really depends what the purpose of that specific page is going to be. If you want to use the article to attract leads from Google's organic traffic, then you would definitely want to go topical and keyword oriented approach, and then further promote that. Or if you want to, I know, earn links to the page, then you would rather do like a almost like a big scientific approach where you come up with like unique data, unique case study and analysis of something that's in your industry, and you present yourself as the thought leader who has discovered these little either trends or government data sets that are very interesting and provide unique insight, even though people are not going to be searching for those keywords. You will be presented as a thought leader in your industry, and you will attract, of course, if you do digital PR with it or you do outreach with that piece of content, you will attract lots of links to that page, which if you do clever internal linking, that will further amplify your other pages as well.
Yeah, yeah. So this is something else that I always get kind of like a pushback when I start talking about digital PR, is that most people think digital PR is only links to the homepage. So how do you justify the fact of using digital PR to promote like keyword targeted content, like blog articles, for example?
Yeah, well, I always say it's good to have a mix of both. We do a lot of homepage links as well, and it kind of works because it elevates the whole domain. Some people say it's harder to do only homepage links, but it's not. I think it's good to have a mix of both. The article based approach is a bit slower lane, so it really depends what you want to achieve with digital PR. Do you want to achieve more thought leadership and more in-depth linking to pages that are not necessarily going to bring you in lots of organic traffic directly, but indirectly they will on the long term? Or do you want to increase your domain authority in your niche, or increase the link velocity to the website, which is when you build links to the homepage? Because to the homepage you can just launch lots of campaigns that don't require an asset to be put on the website. Therefore, you can just blast the homepage with lots of links, just like Haro. Haro, when
Yeah, yeah.
experts from whatever, and then with digital PR you can put that in the fast lane. So you can literally get like 100 links to the homepage in a month if you have the right budget, and if you have the right level of action with digital PR. Right?
Hmm.
I would suggest we should probably explore both.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Having like finding the right balance, I think is always important, but
Exactly.
also looking at what the competition is doing. Because at the end of the day, I think Google always kind of tend to show you like the secret is kind of hidden in plain sight, right? So Google
The
is
secret is on.
ranking what it wants to rank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's
Okay,
good.
cool. So let's talk a little bit about some strategies, right? So I know that there's probably a bunch of different strategies and different things that you do, but what would you say are like your top three favorite digital PR strategies?
That's awesome. So I do have top three, and it's always three types of PR that I suggest everyone do to achieve. I'm a big fan of link velocity. You are only relevant to Google when you are actually relevant to the world, and Google picks up the fact that you're relevant by finding lots of links that are lots of other websites that are mentioning you. That's why you are relevant. If you had 100 links 2 years ago on whatever websites you want to have, BBC, all of them, it doesn't really matter, because your competitor who becomes relevant today, and they will have links today, they will outrank you, because Google thinks, oh, this is a fresh, relevant, thought leader or industry expert, and this is what we should rank. So expert commentary is one of the best ways to put yourself forward to the press and make sure that you get current, fresh relevancy. So expert commentary is when you you have something happening in the world, and you put yourself forward as the expert who gives an opinion. Journalists need lots of expert commentary. They cannot, even though they might be knowing lots of things about various industries, they cannot say, "Oh, I'm a journalist and I think it's my opinion that whatever, like my opinion is that you should, have whatever types of blinds to your windows to keep your house warmer during, wintertime. It's They cannot do that because even though they might know what, they might know a lot about that topic, they're just a journalist, right? They don't have the right almost to say that. But if they find a company that's selling blinds that gives an expert commentary on that topic, then they are rightfully so to say industry, like a blinds experts, whatever the name of the company, and there's the link, commented on the matter. And then we, add the comment like, it's always good to have whatever blinds, or even like dark color blinds, because they attract, like whatever, comment they add. So that's why expert commentary is so powerful, because journalists do need experts to support their articles. So expert commentary is one piece. The other type is reactive PR. So again, a very simple, um, Elon Musk tweets something, the price of Bitcoin goes up. We can almost tie the two together, and then our crypto client is being put forward as the expert, that like the coin, like digital, like blockchain or whatever expert who has discovered this trend. 20 links instantly, right? That's like all the publications who are covering this, hot topic, like what did Elon Musk do again? And then, that's another, insight that they can, plug into their articles from the, cryptocurrency expert who provided this little Google Trends chart that they have discovered, right? So that's like reactive PR. And then the other one is very potent. It's a data-driven PR, where we go to, let's say, the government website, and we discover the areas of the UK that got the most fines per speeding fines per 100,000 inhabitants. We download the data. Our data team, like your data team, whatever, I don't want to say us, it's anyone can do it. Your data team can go and, find some interesting stories, like this area in the UK is, the most dangerous place on the roads, because, the most people per 100,000 inhabitants have been fined in the past 1 year. And that's a story that we can put forward. If you have, like, an insurance client or like a car client, that's a perfect story to provide data driven PR, send it out to journalists who cover, the topics, or even to regional journalists. Like we can say, like Oxford, and is the most dangerous place to drive in the UK. And then we can have, journalists from Oxford who cover local news to, they will probably write about that topic.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. So you essentially, so you can take one angle and kind of like repurpose it for different kind of
Oh yeah,
publications, right?
indeed, indeed. So we always look for like the most valuable asset of a data or even a story is when you can regionalize and personalize the story to a region. Like even if it's in top 10 or bottom 10, there's like 10 opportunities, 10 different regions you can target, and then, another 10 with the bottom. So you literally have an exponentially larger pool of journalists you can reach out. You can reach out to all the news publications from this county and then from that county. In the US, for example, like states, there are like 50 countries. So if we do a nationwide case study, then we have like 50 angles. And within those 50 angles, there's also, little towns and cities that we can further, drill down the data, and then we can reach out to even more journalists. So that's where the power of data driven campaigns comes from. There are more resource, like you need more resources, you need more time to do it, and sometimes they can flop. So sometimes you spend 3 weeks on a campaign and nothing happens. And that's why it's good to combine the PR with reactive, because if one campaign flops, then you can just quickly launch expert commentary pieces and reactive ones. And I think that's why it's a great idea to combine all of these three to make sure you actually get links whatever happens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So, like, follow up question to this that I'm kind of curious personally as well. Like, do you have what kind of roles do you guys have inside the agency to be able to, like, first off, monitor like everything that's happening around the world to be able to do the reactive campaign? Second thing, to come up with the creative ideas. Like, I'm assuming you have all sorts of different like small teams inside.
Yeah, so we have a very strong data team that also involves, we have 4 software developers on the team who are really like we can just scrape anything. So if you have an idea, you want to find out the area in the UK with the most hair in the food, we can find out that data. We can just go to TripAdvisor, scrape comments that mention hair in food or like hair, and then we can go by region, and I would say this in this area in the UK you're most likely to find hair in your food, right? So
Awesome.
we
Yeah.
have a strong data team who can actually do these crazy things. But also I think the biggest asset of especially for reactives is the volume, the number of employees on the PR team, because we always have, and not just the PR, even our HR sometimes discovers something and we put in the channel, hey, did you see this is happening in the news? And I think that's where the power of a larger agency comes, or even a larger team comes, when you get everyone on the same page and say, whenever you notice something crazy happening, please put it in the channel because it will probably help somebody on the team. I think that's where the power of ideas and the power of detecting quick trends comes from, like having lots of people actively looking for things that are happening in the world.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this is probably one of the good reasons why companies that have the budget should probably hire someone like you, right? Instead of trying to do it themselves, because it does require quite a lot of like expertise, people that are just there for that like specific thing, right?
Yeah, I think especially if they want a skill, I think they would either have to employ lots of people and they can do it themselves. I mean, the knowledge is out there and anyone can do it. But also, if they don't have a big team, then and they want large scaling building with PR, then they will probably yeah, they need a larger team to do that on their behalf.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, something else that I really think is very cool about you guys is that you also like apply the work that you like the work to sorry, let me start again. Something that's very cool about you guys that I noticed is that you also apply the work that you do to your like own kind of agency, right? So I noticed you publish a lot of videos and things specific for agencies, and I've been really loving some of the content that you put on LinkedIn as well. One that stands out is the no link compares to you kind of campaign that you did. So I think what happened there was that Bloomberg removed one of your clients' link or something like that. So you like came up with this like cover song parody song about like basically Bloomberg removing the link, right? So how do you come up with these kind of crazy and fun ideas? Is there a specific strategy behind them, or like is it basically the thing that we talked about before, just monitoring and seeing what happens?
Well, I think the strategy behind it is the first of all the intention of creating entertainment content in the SEO industry, which doesn't really exist. Like there are a few memes, and there are some really like good people on LinkedIn who are posting interesting and entertaining stuff, but there's no proper high level, high budget projects that create entertainment in the industry. And we said like we are the first ones who actually start creating music videos and songs and content for the SEO industry so they can have a less boring life, right? Because
Ah, definitely.
right, we
Much
sometimes
needed.
we need something that's talking to us. It's we understand it. We know these SEO jokes like links and all of these, but then we need something to fire up our spirits a little bit, so we are enjoying our days a bit more. And I've said we will become the SEO entertainers, the entertainment company in the SEO industry, and probably in the marketing industry as well. And it just works. It just works. We make people feel good. We make people feel entertained, but we also most of our content is also aimed at educating people and providing extreme value. So even some of the videos that I do with Leo DiCaprio sitting on a sofa, it's not just a fun way to talk with Leo DiCaprio, and like that's entertaining in itself, but also within the video I put a proper case study that anyone can just go and replicate, right? They can actually learn from it. So that's the goal with our content: educate, entertain, and inform. And if we can make this the best content that people can ever get, then I think it's mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's definitely great. And something else that you always tell to people is like something simple, like even just making your emails and your email templates stand out a little bit. So don't just use the typical framework. Hey, like I saw this link here, and we have this page here. Would you mind replacing? Right. So like people can spot that from like three
Oh yeah,
thousand miles away, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
even
big time.
just trying to stand out by using a different like wording or different sentences in different places, and putting the links somewhere else, maybe starting with a joke or a meme or things like that to stand out and to actually make someone else's day better, right? That's always something that I think works.
That should be the main intention. If I would receive this email, would it help me? Like, would it help be extremely helpful? If the answer is maybe, then don't do it. Just go. You have to be like certain. Yes, this is. If I would take a look at this, I would, either thoroughly be entertained, or I would be getting extreme value from it, or it would help me enormously. And if the answer can be yes, then I think that's how people should approach every kind of almost like marketing content. Just put yourself in the person's shoes, unbiased. Is this going to be helpful? If yes, then do it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very useful framework. So yeah, so the next question is, what would you say are the most frequent mistakes that you see people making with content promotion, digital PR?
Yeah, it's simple. This is very simple. The biggest mistake is people try to sell with their content. It doesn't work. It used to work in the 80s, in the 1980s, 1990s even. But, creating content that's aimed at, selling and promoting yourself like, oh, we're the best, and it just doesn't work. And that's what people must understand with content marketing. Content marketing is not talking about, oh, we just changed our logo and look how great our website is now, and then the people think that they're going to go to the website and buy something from there. Like, it doesn't really work like that. Or talking about their products or services. And we even have some clients who come to us for digital PR and say, well, if we launch this, we have this unique product and service, and then we want you to promote it with digital PR. So, like, no, it's not going to happen. We are not going to work together, because we content should not be a, especially good content, should not be a promotional content. It should be a content that draws in attention because of the value that you provide to the person. And then, if they have enough interest, then you can of course sell. But first, you need to provide the value first. You have to pay the price first, and then get the money back. I mean, if
Yeah.
yeah,
So content should essentially be the pathway to the sale instead of
exactly.
just like selling with the content. Yeah, that makes
Exactly.
perfect sense.
Exactly. Yeah, like on my LinkedIn posts and on any content that we usually create, we never sell, but we have unlimited demand. So we never ever go to anyone and say, "Hey, do you want a service? Would you like this service?" We never ever do that. We just educate and entertain, and the rest, people, you could not imagine the amount of emails we get from this approach, and LinkedIn messages. People just come to us, like big companies come to us, say, "Oh, I've seen your content. I want some help as well." It just works without ever selling.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. So yeah, you guys are doing some
So
really good job for
yeah,
sure.
so that's the biggest mistake people do. They just promote themselves instead of helping others.
Cool. So yeah, the other thing is you seem to be doing like quite a lot of these. Going back to what we were talking about before, I saw a lot of like your posts and videos kind of going viral, right? So like, do you have a specific strategy or a process that you follow to create viral videos, or is it just like a byproduct?
I think I think the framework is just being crazy, daring to be crazy enough with the ideas, not being afraid of, and some of them will not just work as well. Like, it's not all of them go viral, but if you always think of how can I be so entertaining that people have not seen this before. I always Whenever I want to create content, I say this to a team, I always think of Mr. Beast, and he's been on one of the podcasts where he said, we just create content so good that people must watch it. If like people is so good that there's no other way but you must watch the content. And that's the intention with every content that we want to put out. Create such an interesting content that people just you just want to share it with your friends. You just want to say, hey, you must watch this, you must look at this is like crazy. And that's kind of the thought framework. I sometimes, secretly go in and just visualize, creating like great content. And I know it sounds crazy, but it puts you in the mindset of, always thinking, almost like extreme with the content. But I think the Mr. Beast framework is your content so good that people just want to watch it? If the answer is yes, then you're probably on the right path. If you think, well, that's kind of, yeah, it's kind of okay content, hopefully people will, love it, then that's not a good, that's not gonna, mostly not gonna go viral.
So I'm assuming you do, like, you do a lot of brainstorming, you do a lot of tests before you come up with the final ideas. What's the process there for coming up with ideas, and yeah, kind of like the brainstorming? So, like, for example, how many ideas do you discard before you pick the right one?
So we have a large spreadsheet with lots of ideas. Most of them are, never gonna see the light of the day. We do have some, so I think we do play the volume. So we do play the volume of, lots of ideas, and then filter out the ones that you think they are great, further improve. But I know this sounds like crazy and funny. What I do is, the way I come up with ideas is, I sit in my car, put the music like Lady Gaga, Alejandro on maximum level, like max, and drive
Awesome, I like
around,
that.
drive around, in the car, and then my mind is just fresh, clear. Sometimes I put it on autopilot, and just the car just drives itself, and I just think of
Awesome, awesome.
ideas, and then
So
I
why
take my
Alejandro?
phone. Fun. I know, because I think Lady Gaga is one of the most creative artists in the
Okay.
world, and it
Mhm.
really inspires me to, also be, thinking out of the box and be creative. I think she's just a genius artist and genius creative, and I just listen to. I know it sounds crazy, and some people don't like Lady Gaga, and they'll be
Oh,
like,
it's
"Oh, this
definitely
guy is like a weird weirdo." I might
no,
be a
no,
weirdo,
no.
and
I
I
love
am,
Lady Gaga as well. So
but it really, I just get inspiration when my mind is clear, and I just put it down in my notes in my iPhone. I come to office. I put in the channel. If people, seem to be liking it, then I say, okay, there's something here. Let's elaborate. Let's go further with this. And I think just clearing your mind, going out from the office to get the ideas, and then, further improving them in office. But yeah, volume, and like, I think the volume of ideas is something that really helps us find great.
So, what would you say is some cool digital PR strategies for companies that maybe don't have a huge budget? Maybe they can create videos, so maybe they can only do articles.
So first of all, any company that doesn't have big budgets, they should just do expert commentary. Just launch, 3 pieces of expert commentary every week. Anyone, it's one person can do it. I mean, they will have to have access to a media database, which is, about £6,000 a year. So without that, they can do the manual job, but it's going to be very slow. Or they can use Harrow, Helper Reporter. Harrow, there's like a Harrow. I think helperreporter.com or Harrow.com. They would just Google it, Harrow, and just, answer journalist requests that sometimes pop up. It's very unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. So low budget, I think, just go to Harrow, or start launching your own little campaigns. Go to Google, find journalists who cover the same topic, via Google search, and then just find their emails, and then put them in a spreadsheet, and then reach out to them. It's going to be very slow. Otherwise, if you have a little budget, just subscribe to Roxhill or Muckrack or Cision or even Vuelio.com. There's like, I think these four are the best tools in the world, and you can find lots of journalists there. Just create interesting expert tips. If you are, a carpet cleaner, and we've done this, by the way, and you're, there's a if you see there's a World Cup in football, then, people will be spilling beer on the carpet. Therefore, you can, whenever the football is happening, like the World Cup, you just share insights on how to clean your carpet from beer. Every journalist will talk about it. Like, everyone will write about that, right? Because that's a topic that's relevant, and you're the expert, like the expert carpet cleaner. You send it out to, high to press, and they will almost like cover it. And it's accessible to almost every company with even low budgets.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like, definitely think creativity plays a big part in here. So you definitely should have someone that's creative.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should have somebody who's almost like a bit crazy. Just, being. I mean, crazy. I say in a good way, like being crazy enough to think outside the box, to dare to think outside the box. Right. I think that's how they should have this person.
Cool. Yeah. So we talked about like launching a lot of campaigns and doing crazy things. So what happens when a campaign is not like maybe successful, or you're getting like negative feedback maybe? Like what's your process in there? Also, I will say, how do you justify it to your clients when a campaign doesn't go as planned?
Well, we don't justify it because we just launch another campaign for free.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
We
that
have
makes
we
sense.
have a certain number of guaranteed links, and if something flops, we just launch as many campaigns as we have to for free. Which, yes, it might cut from budgets, but it kind of works because then clients know for sure that they will always get what we promise, right? So in terms of a campaign or landing, we just execute more campaigns for free until we hit the number of promised links.
So you basically have been doing this for so long that you know that if you send like as many campaigns, like sooner or later you will get to the
Yeah,
target.
yeah. We always get the number of links that we promise, no matter what. Like whatever happens, we always deliver. So we don't have to justify a bad, not a bad, a campaign that didn't work out as well as we expected. We never have to justify it. We just launch another campaign, and then we eventually we share the links with the client. But negative press as well. I mean, we had a campaign called the Most Intelligent Royal. It was for one of our clients, Oxford Royale, and it just went crazy. It got like 100 plus links, but everyone was, because I think Meghan Markle was the most intelligent royal, and on social media, people were like, this is like, it's probably Meghan Markle's agency who's done this. Like people, Meghan Markle is like, like
Yeah, that's
Marmite. You
risky.
either hate her or love her, and the haters were like out after us, like, yeah, this like, I mean, it was good. It wasn't as negative. It didn't impact the business. Of in fact, I mean, we got them lots of links, lots of coverage. But you just have to make sure the client understands that journalists sometimes, not just journalists but also the public, can take things with like a pinch of salt. We always we we always work from a positive. So for anyone doing PR, never say, "Oh, these are the worst areas in the UK for whatever." You always go with a positive angle. Then you minimize the risk
So
of
reframe it basically.
reframe it always with the positive. So we never say these are the worst restaurants in the area. You always say these are the top restaurants for whatever. Then you like exponentially minimize the risk of being called out even on social media.
All right, cool. So I would say, what are some trends that you're seeing that might impact like the content landscape moving forward? Is there anything particularly interesting that you've been seeing lately?
Yes, everyone is shouting about ChatGPT, right? And Google's new kind of answer to ChatGPT, which is Bard. So I'm excited. I'm excited because what Bard will do is it will filter out and it will weed out the fluff. And then I just posted on LinkedIn about this. It will weed out the Bard because sometimes we don't need a full page article for what color is the sky, right? And then we have like a 2,000 words article just so it ranks better. Like, yes, those bloggers are making money with ads, but that's probably something that we don't need. But they still, we still need in-depth content. We still need quality, expert industry expert, insights and like in-depth analysis of certain things, and we need that on a wide range of in a wide range of industries. So I think content is only going to get better, exponentially better. So every probably in like two years now from now, every content that you will read on the web is not going to have like this fluff or like in order to get to the answer, you have to read, 1,000
Yeah, so I'm
words.
thinking about like the classic example, an article on like the 5 cold email tips for getting more sales. That maybe starts with what is cold email, right? So if I'm looking for the tips, it means that I already
You
know what
already
cold
know,
email
yes,
is.
yes, exactly, and that's what's going to happen. Exactly as you say, those unnecessary things from the content will disappear, and you will have just the essence, the actual expertise that you can even share. Print screens, like this is how you phrase, this is how you do it, and you can even share, have a video on the page. So I think video for SEO is just going to explode in the coming years. Like it's gonna explode.
Yeah, so
Um,
you've been investing already in that.
Oh yeah,
Quite a lot.
we have a like a proper studio that we rented. We are now having these tiles, as you can see, those foam on the wall in the studio. Like I think I
Awesome.
spent like 1,000 something just on the foam, even more to put them on like in the whole unit. Lots of money invested in there.
Yeah, brings me back to my to when I was playing with my band. With the difference that we were using the egg box, the egg
Yeah, yeah,
boxes
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the
Yeah,
wall.
that was yes. It's really it's really gonna make a difference. So I think videos are going to be the hot new thing in SEO in the coming 2 3 years, big time.
Cool, right. So we're heading towards the end of the episode. So my question that I ask to everyone is, if you could have any like 80s movie character promote your content, who would they be and why?
Oh, okay. I think Arnold is. I
Yeah.
think he was in the 80s, right? And I will tell you also why. Not just because he's like the Terminator. I think because of his story of rags to riches, where he really, I think he worked hard and he was clever. He didn't just stick to acting, but he became like a relentless business person. So I think Arnold, I would love him to promote the content because
Okay, make an impact.
indeed, indeed.
Okay, cool. So do you have any final thoughts that you would like to leave our audience with?
I think so. I think the biggest message I want to share with everyone is just if you create content, aim to be excellent with it and aim to really really deep down help others with it. That's the essence of of the quality content creation. Aim, like, have a good intention with it. Don't just aim to create something so you can tick off the box and we have like 2,000 word article. Really really help others. I know, like, sometimes, oh yeah, it's easy to say but we don't have budgets for it. But then I think the client is convincing that they need more in-depth, because it's clear that that's what's coming. Just focus on excellence with your content, and like really really deeply really helping others with the content, whether it's a combination of images, text, and videos, or it's a combination of even interactive tools. I think just create content that really really helps the person who will read, and I think that's kind of the road to success.
Mhm. Yeah. So less following checklists and more being creative, being genuine, and try to provide value. Right.
100%.
So how can people stay connected with you and your content and find you online? What are the best places?
Best place is LinkedIn. I mean, I live and breathe LinkedIn. That's how, when I wake up at nighttime, I know it sounds weird to we. I always check, LinkedIn before I do anything. So it's I like LinkedIn is the best place to be if you're, if you want to find me or if you want to discover our content. And then just Google my name. I'm also on YouTube. But LinkedIn is definitely the place to be.
And what's the agency website?
Agency website is search-intelligence.co.uk, and we even have a few case studies there. We are revamping the website now, and we'll have even more case studies there, and we'll have all the YouTube training material that we have. Like, we have a YouTube show on a company YouTube channel. We have like 50 videos called the Link Building Show, and then that's going to be on the website as well within a few weeks.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Ferry, for being on the show. It's been great, and I learned a lot, and I hope that the audience
Awesome.
did as well. So, everyone, go follow Ferry on LinkedIn. He's posting a ton of super useful and fun content as well every day, like, or almost, yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Ferry.
Awesome. It was a pleasure.
Cheers.
See you.